All right. It is 6 p.m. in Estonian time. And hello, beautiful people. My name is Reina. I am an international student ambassador from Iran. I'm a first-year master's student in folkloristics and applied heritage studies. And joining me today, we are having Tommy, who is a student in international relations and regional studies, Bing, who studies innovation and technology management, and of course, Cristobal, who studies wellness and spa service design. So do you guys want to introduce yourself maybe first with Bing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Bing. I'm studying innovation technology management. I'm from China, and this is my first year. It's gonna finish this semester, and if you have any questions related to my program, you can directly to ask me as well. Okay.
Tommy?
Hi, my name is Tommy Kolobos. I'm originally from Chicago, USA, and I study international relations and regional studies. I specialize in European studies. If you have any questions about my program in particular, living expenses, anything, feel free to put those in the Q&A chat. So nice to see everyone.
Cristobal?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, my name is Cristobal Otto. I am originally from Nigeria. I am studying wellness and spa service design and management. So if you have any questions regarding that and Parno College, I am ready to give you answers to you.
All right, guys, just to let you know, there is a Q&A box there. If you guys want to ask any specific questions, please ask it there, because in chat, we probably at the same time, if you have any specific questions from any of us, it are no questions, so they'll realize who's going to be who needs to answer them. But before we start, I just want just some info to in general. So can you guys see this one? Perfect. I had to call in it how to survive in Tartu. Actually, it's not very difficult at all. First, international student ambassadors, and we are technically here from different countries in order to promote the different programs in the University of Tartu. But I'm just going to say that surviving in Tartu is not very difficult, and you're going to realize it yourself. First of all, where is Tartu? So we are here. Estonia is a very small country located in Northern Europe. And then we have border with Russia from east and Latvia from south. And then we are having Gulf of Finland in the north, and of course the Baltic Sea. Tartu is located here, as you can see it. And Tartu is the second largest city in Estonia after Tallinn, the capital. At some points, they call it the intellectual capital of Estonia. Tartu is a very student city. Everything is technically related to students. And as soon as you will be in Tartu, you're gonna realize it, how this student life is important and how everything is around this student life. So the location of Tartu is actually pretty good. We are kind of like less than 200 kilometers from Tallinn, and we are about 250 kilometers away from Riga. So technically, if you want to take a plane or something, these two airports are some of the closest to us. And you can generally take a bus to come to Tartu, and it's pretty accessible. And then, so how to survive in Tartu? First of all, learn as much as possible about Estonians, and Estonian language in Tartu. As soon as you are here, you're gonna realize how people actually love the way that you're pronouncing Estonian, or like whenever you're just telling them tere or any other Estonian words, they're gonna get very excited and they really love the way that you're just like trying to communicate with the Estonian community. And then keep it studying, but also make room for socializing and meeting people. We wrote here that balance is a key word. And of course, it's important as well because studying and also having your social life, they're both very important and they should be balanced. Travel, technically being in Estonia, Estonia is located in EU, so it allows you to travel freely in many countries in Europe. And at the same time, as I said, it's very close to Riga airport and Tallinn airport. So you can technically take the plane to go to any other places. And at the same time, there are ferries from Tallinn or Riga that you can take and go to other countries. It's pretty much accessible. So you're gonna have a lot of time to travel. I mean, during Christmas time and summertime. So take this opportunity and travel as much as you can and admire the nature. Estonians are famous to technically be very friendly with the nature. As soon as you will be here, you're gonna realize that the country is pretty green, and it's technically very important to just like you yourself gonna realize that how everything is surrounded with this nature and you're gonna actually love it. And then Tartu has got this title that it's not official, but it's the city of good thoughts. And as soon as you will be here, you're gonna see that it's a very, it's a city that it has a perfect match between culture and technology. And it has a great environment for academic and social life. It has a great travel connection, as I told you before, and breathtaking nature, which it is like, if you even look at the picture here, you're gonna realize how green Tartu is and how everything is surrounded with like this greenery, which for me, coming from Iran, a country in the Middle East, was like, wow. And then there are some stuff related to, I mean, Tartu in general. And that as you're gonna be here, you're gonna get hand of it, but just to tell you some stuff, just very basic about the groceries, ask for the customer card wherever you go. They are having customer card, loyalty card, in order to save money and bonus points. I think many of them, they are just like €1, but you're gonna realize whenever they're having like discounts or something, you're gonna have more like opportunities, and the price is gonna be better for you. So that €1 actually worth it. As soon as you will be here, you're gonna see this markets like Coop, Rimi, Silver, Maxima, Prisma, and like other markets like Tartu Touring around the city. They are pretty much accessible, and I personally never had problem. It's just like 2 minutes away from me. Like Silver is 2 minutes away. Coop is like probably 4 minutes away from where I'm living. So they're pretty accessible. And then there are also delivery services just like Boat that technically you won't have any problem, not even related to food or grocery stores, and groceries is nothing. And also about finances. So as soon as you will be here, your faculty's dean's office will give you like a confirmation of the studies, like a paper, that with that you can actually open an account. This thing, like the paper that dean's office is giving you, is important at some points, and then you're gonna get like your personal ID or other stuff. And then as soon as you get that, you have the opportunity to open a bank account here. So easiest one, which it is very accessible, is this LHV, that with that one, they are also having use card, and with that use card, you can again have discount on specific places. And then we are having SEB Bank and Swedbank, that these two usually needs the TRP, which it is a temporary resident permit, but you're gonna get that after being here and applying for it very soon. And they are very easy to apply for. And then, of course, we are having here TransferWise and Revolut, that like many of my friends are using that. And then about health, and which is the most important thing, as soon as you will be in Tartu, you need to register for a family doctor. So this doctors, like technically in Estonia, it's worked like that whenever you're having a disease or something, you need to go, this process need to go through your family doctor. And then for the insurance, there are also this European health insurance card and like private insurance. And in case of emergency, 112, the number that you need to remember. And we are also having psychological counseling that University of Tartu is offering them. They're located in the third floor of library. And also like, of course, physical and psychological health is important. So you can keep those things in your mind. Next one, upgrade your room. So I myself personally, when I came to Tartu, I didn't have any idea about how should I buy stuff. Like I spent money on things that they were necessary before I came to my dorm. And then I realized the way. So I just wanted to let you know right now that you can always check the Facebook Marketplace or Free Market Tartu, which is a group in Facebook. They are usually people or like student that they want to sell their stuff. So you can find things, or sometimes they're secondhand, sometimes not. So based on the price that they're offering, you're gonna find the thing that you need. And then about electronics, there is this Euronics that it is located in a shopping center called Luna Keskus. Remember this Luna Keskus because many of the shops are located there and it's accessible. They are having like free bus from the center to Luna Keskus that you can just go there. Bus number 69. And we are also having like Expert Click that they are also located in Eden, another shopping mall, which it is not very far away. And ideal enough that you can just like buy any sort of electronic thing that you need for your room. And then about household goods and decor, there is this shop called Yusk. When I was here, I started calling it as Jisk and everyone was laughing at me. So it's called Yusk, and then you can buy whatever you want for your house. And then they are actually very affordable. And then we are having Kudo Extra and Pepco, just a friendly thing. Like Pepco is usually very much cheaper, but at the same time, they are offering things that probably about the quality. If your quality is important for you, you can always like go to use, but not if not, and you're thinking you're going to be here for 2 years, you can just always first search for Pepco and then go for use and find your stuff. We are also having IKEA here, opened recently, but this is very much like a delivery thing, so we didn't bring it here. And there's the important thing that you should keep it in your mind. As I told you, Estonia is very much a nature-friendly country, and they very much care about the nature. And as soon as you're here, you're gonna realize that in most of the areas, they are having different recycle bins for different things. And then when it comes to recycle, just do it. Like for what we are doing here is just like we place 4 trash bins in our common areas for bio, paper, packaging, and household waste. And then like there are also the same bins down in front of many buildings that you can just like put your, like if you want to do recycle, they are all there. And then just like make sure how you're separating these things. And there is another thing that if you keep your bottles, you can recycle them and you can actually receive 10 cents. And then if you just like pack all these things together and like recycle them together, you might have like money that you can also spend those money in the groceries that I tell you. So you can actually make money out of recycling bottles, which it is interesting. I mean, it was interesting for me when I came here first. There are also a few things that you better keep them in your mind, that we are having OIS and Moodle that just show them love. You're gonna, like when you're here, you're gonna, maybe at first you're gonna be a little bit confused, but then you're gonna get used to it. It's a very important thing that you should always check them, check Moodle more often, just because there is a section about your assignments and deadlines and of course your classes. So they're important in OIS because everything is located. I think everything is in OIS. When you come to Estonia, check your email often. Like just check your email as much as you can, because Estonia works pretty much with emails, and like your professors, your doctors, they're gonna just email you, and a lot of things, they're just gonna email you a lot, and then you just need to check them, not to miss any event or any activity or any assignments or any deadline or anything. And then there are so many options also for like 2 exam days, like 2 exam date option, that as soon as you will be in Tartu, I'm sure like your program manager, your peer tutors, they're gonna speak about that, and then you're gonna know more about them. And then speaking about the dorm, sometimes you don't need the dorm to study. You can go to the library. We are having one of the, I mean, library is probably one of my favorite places. And this library is just like a huge library that it has like a common area, like it's just very nice, very like a cozy places. They're also having like just like separate rooms that you can just like go there and like with your friends, and just you can book them and study together, or if you're having any project, you can just like do it together in the library without bothering others. And you're gonna love it too. And of course, ask questions. Just doesn't matter what, just ask questions from your professors, instructors. Like here is just like that. Don't be shy, or like don't be afraid to ask questions. Just ask them, and I'm sure they're gonna answer you. The other important thing is be on time, because it's important for them. So just like before the class, just a few minutes before the class, be in the class, and they're gonna, I mean, it's important. It's important. And then we are having another thing that I wanted to speak about is this printing service, 24/7 printing service that it is by Printing City. So technically in most of the faculties, there is this, you know, like there is this print system that you can just go there and like print your stuff. It's pretty easy to work with that one too. And as soon as you will be here, you're gonna realize it. So technically, if you're having if you want to print something, know that there is like printers located in most of the faculties, and of course in dormitories, the most famous one, Ratuse, has got a printing service. So you can just do it 24/7 whenever you want. And for hands-on experiences, of course, UT ambassadors, which we are, and we're going to speak about that who we are. And check students letter. You're gonna, as soon as you will be here, you're gonna realize that this student letter comes to your email most of the time. It has different sections. It's actually give you information about like exchange student, Erasmus, about achievement stipends, about different things that, or events that they're gonna be for the university. And just check this student's letter a lot, and just pay attention to it. I know sometimes your email is going to be like, you're going to have a lot of emails, but make sure that you're checking the student's letter, because it's usually, most of the time, have important things for you. And then there are like this Sandbox, Spark Hub, Photo Lab that like, or Photo Lab is mostly like for you if you want to like have looking for something like internship or something. They're also available for you. And if you want to just like have hands-on experiences, just ask for professors. Like from my own personal experience here in Tartu, professors are amazing. Like my professors are amazing, and they help you a lot with like a lot of things. So just like if you want to have some more experiences, just ask these professors and you're good to go. And there are also some company events, hackathons, and then if you want to go through Erasmus and stuff, and you want to, if you also have questions about that, you can just ask, and I'm sure my friends are able to answer them. And activities. Tartu is a very small city, but at the same time, you're gonna love it because there's so much activities going on in the city. I'm not speaking only about the events, that there are so many events always happening in the city, which is, for me, was surprising that we are having a lot of activities in Tartu. But also there are like different places that you can go. So first with the museums, top left, you're gonna see this is a picture of the Estonian National Museum. I'm very much into museum. This museum was one of the for me, was very interesting. And again, you have like this AHA Center, the photo under it, which is a science center. And you're gonna see how, it's amazing how they are just like using their area in order to teach science to anyone, like from children to adults. And then there's also the University of Tartu museum. As I told you before, this University of Tartu is very important, that most of the things are related to this university. Even they're having a museum in one of the oldest churches in the town. And then we are having, for instance, Taipa Museum, that it is located on the other, like a little bit, you need to walk a little bit. It's not like center, but it's a printing museum. And it's also the area in it, you can see it in a picture down right, that it's just like a beautiful area, especially for youth. And speaking about cafes and pubs, well, Tartu has a strong cafe culture, and then there are a lot of cafes around the town. Personally, I'm here for 1 year and I was not able to see many of them, that they're located in the center of Tartu. And pubs are the soul of Tartu evening life. Technically, you're gonna see that, as I told you, here is a student city, and you're gonna see how these pubs is full of students. And generally, I think these students are giving a lot of life to this town. And activities that you can do. Usually when you're speaking about Estonia, people think like, oh, okay, so it's just gonna be snow, it's going to be very cold. Yeah, it's going to be cold as well during winter, but there are a lot of things to do in different seasons. And as I told you, it seems like Tartu never sleeps. So there are like sports that you can do, like cycling, disc golf. Like Estonians I think they love it. They're just like, there are these huge areas for them that they go and play. There's also kayaking, skating and skiing, hiking, and then gym grounds and spa. And then there are also some fun activities, such as snow tubing, and like boat trip on Emajogi, which is a river here. And then especially during the summer, you're going to see that there are so many people are doing that. And then you can go and be volunteer in animal shelter if you're like local animal shelter, if you're like interested in that. There are adventure parks, cinemas, theaters that you can go and like enjoy. And like, it was very interesting for me that like there are like film festival here happening in Tartu as well. It's pretty interesting. It was most of the time pretty impressive for myself. And then, as I told you, events take place all year round in Tartu. There are ESN events that you can join them. There are film screening, concert, food festivals, student days, which is huge. Like student days in Tartu is like huge. I had the experience this year and I was like, wow, and marathons that they are happening all year round. And you can just join them and like see how does it feel to be here in Tartu and survive in Tartu. So final words of advice. As I told you before, balance is a keyword. Just balance your studies and social life. Learn a bit of Estonian. As I told you, Estonians gonna love it since you're going to be in this country, you need to be more like a little bit more about their culture, and like they're gonna appreciate it. Travel. This is probably one of my favorite thing to say and repeat it here, just to travel, travel, travel. And don't afraid to try new things. There are a lot of stuff for me personally that I really love that, and I was just at the beginning I was very much afraid to do them, but then I was like, right now when I looking back at them, I'm just like very happy that I did it. And make a schedule and ask for help. It's okay if you ask for help, and things are fine. And then again, back to us ambassadors. So we are having our website that it is isa.ut.ee, and you can also follow us on Facebook, that it is facebook.com/UT-ambassadors. And we also have a Telegram, which it is in Russian, and telegram.me, Uni Tartu. And then if you need any survival tea, just send us an email at studentambassadors@ut.ee. But just to tell you a little bit more about us, the ambassadors. So we are currently 18 ambassadors from 11 different countries and 4 continents. And so what we are doing is that we are representing our programs, and we are working along with the marketing department, and we are like, we have a lot of events for you guys, and we have a lot of things happening on our Facebook that you can check, and a lot of information in our blogs that it is technically our personal experiences, but I'm sure it's going to be very handy for you if you want to come and join us at the University of Tartu. So it was from me, and it was from me for now, and all right. So I'm just gonna start asking the questions from our ambassador here, but just to remind you, please ask the questions in that Q&A box so I can go through them and ask this question from our ambassadors. So first of all, I am going to ask this question maybe from Tommy first. Why did you decide to choose the University of Tartu?
Yeah, so I was really interested in my program. I really wanted to learn international relations outside of the US and get a European perspective. This is a really cool program here because you get a little bit about Russia, a little bit about Europe, a little bit more about the Baltic areas. So I was happy that there were different specializations. And I was just curious about Estonia. I didn't know a lot about it, and I thought it would be an adventure. And so far it has. It's been a great time here.
And what about you, Bing? Why did you decide to choose the University of Tartu?
So for me, I did a research around in Europe, of course, and as all of us do, I think, like, and then I end up with Estonia because I found out like the first thing is like this program. I think it's very interesting. It's for my program, innovation, technology, and management. It's because before I was looking for like a business related, but this one is actually related to the technology as well, which is just the trending topic, I guess. And then it's a very it has a nice curriculum. I really like it. Another thing is like compare with the tuitions. I really like how Estonia, like, they do not charge extra for international students. I mean, technically we have to pay to, like, a lot of program we have to pay it if it's taught in English. But like for international, like but the thing is like for Estonia students, if they want to join the program taught in English, they still need to pay for the tuition too. So for me, I think it's fair. Like, I do not like this some of these countries, they just because you're international students, they charge you 3 times more, and this is also important part. So yeah, I like their attitude.
Great. What about you, Cristobal? Why did you decide to choose the University of Tartu?
Well, I always appreciate technology and innovation. So when I searched and I discovered that everything in Estonia has to do with technology, you can even get a complete network signal in the forest. I was like, I need to try this. And going down to my course is something I've always wanted to do because starting from the bachelor's, I needed somewhere I could not just only explore, but I can get an avenue to practice, then also travel the world and find Estonia was the best bet. And I got there.
Great, thanks. Okay, Cristobal, there is a question for you. People keep asking about the accommodation in Parnu. Would you please just tell us about your experience about the accommodation in Parnu? And yeah, there are more about that. So
with regards to accommodation in Parnu, you can go with the recommended list. There's some group of hostels or accommodations that are listed from the university, so you can check through them. And if you want to stay there, yes, you can. And you're free to either share a single room with someone or you live alone. But otherwise, if these accommodations are fully booked, you can use the kv.ee. It's called kv.aa, and to check for accommodations. So you can check based on your location, how you want to stay close to the college, or you want to work to school, your budget, and you're free to stay. Yes, because the people of Parnu are willing to give accommodations to the students, and it's quite easy. Just kv.ee, and you check based on what you want.
oh, great. And then there is a question again related to Parnu. Which hostel or hotel usually do international students stay at?
Like I initially said, there are so many. They're listed in the list you would get from the institution. So you can check any of them. There are so many. Otherwise, if you do not wish to stay in the recommended accommodation, hostels or hotels, because these hotels leads to the University of Tartu Parnu College. So if you don't wish to live in these accommodations, then you're also free to check online, kv.ee, based on what you want to stay in and your preference. My own situation, I was not going to live in the accommodation given to us by the institution. So I used the kv.ee and I got an accommodation that I loved. And after, like, I have to go for either Erasmus or the internship, and the landlord is willing to even accept me back when I'm back into Parliament. So it depends. You just check online, it's easy, then you get an accommodation.
Great, thanks. So maybe a question for Tommy. Which bank is recommended for a student, and what about health insurance?
I can't talk about health insurance. I have traveler's health insurance, but for banks, LHV was the best for me. They have a youth card and it's only €1 a month to basically run the account. And you can get an Isaac card with LHV. Swedbank does that too, but I always recommend LHV. It's super easy. You can apply online before coming to Tartu, and you can basically have everything set up. You just have to pick up the card from the bank.
I can add something about the insurance. So I'm personally using this SweetCare, which is one of the one recommended on our website as well, I think. And I checked the other insurance, like their website is more complicated, and the SweetCare is more easy, and they have the app as well, so it's really easy. And I used a couple times, even like there's one thing I like about Swedbank is also like they cover some dental as well. So it's around I don't remember exactly. It's around 200. I used it to did my teeth, so it's really nice. Some of the insurance can cover the dental, because even though if you're employee in Estonia, this national insurance, they do not cover the dental. So I think it also is really easy to use. The app is you just upload your receipt, and then you can get the money after a couple of days or a week or something. So I think that's really easy to use for international students.
Thank you.
For me,
Cristobal, yes. Cristobal, there is a question, like I know you answered questions about the dorm and like where to stay in Parnu, but what is just tell us a little bit more about the general life in Parnu, since you're there, and like how does it feel to be in Parnu?
when I got to Estonia, I was in Tallinn for 10 days. Then when I got to Pärnu, I felt I was not going to go back to Tallinn, but everybody thinks Tallinn is like the capital city, yes. But I felt at home in Pärnu because there's so many things you could do, so many things you could see, and the people of Pärnu are just amazing. So if you want to take a walk, and it's pretty safe in Estonia generally, and Pärnu is also safe. So if you want to take a walk, you want to go to the beach, you are at liberty to go to the beach. And the sweet part about Pärnu is they talked about the ISIC card. So if you are a student of Pärnu College, you get discounts when you want to use the spas in Pärnu. And on recommended days anyways, but you also get access to do so many things like getting your bus card. You don't have to pay for a bus card if you're a student when you get your therapy. And if you have some medical issues, you just have to go to the hospital, tell them you're from University of from Pärnu College, and they attend to you. So generally life in Pärnu is not so difficult, it's just normal. And the first 3 months for me, I spent my 3 months picking apples around the city of Pärnu. So there are so many nice things you can do to just have fun in Pärnu.
And can you tell us how you can, like from Pärnu to other parts? Do you have any recommendation about the trips from Pärnu to any other place if you travel to?
And the city of Pärnu is not so big. I have walked around Pärnu because I just wanted to do because it's normal. And the bus station is located in the city center. So it's easy, as an easy access for you to go from anywhere. So when you get to the bus station, and we had from the Pärnu College, we had a meeting with the Estonian spas, and they told us hopefully the airport in Pärnu will be opening up soon, so you can just use the airport directly, or you just stick to the regular bus we use right now.
Great, thanks. Tommy, what resources can I use to learn Estonian before my arrival in Estonia?
Learning Estonian is very difficult. I have not even made an effort in my 9 months here, to be fair. Google Translator is great, but everyone in Tartu speaks English, so you will not have any language barrier issues. If you do want to learn, the libraries here have a lot of great beginner books. I have friends that went on that journey to learn Estonian. So there's books, there's a few websites, and there's Google Translator. That's what I would recommend.
So I'll just share a link in the chat, and that's the one you can learn. Just give me a second, I'll post it right there.
Amazing, thank you. And about they're asking about the sport clubs and activities. Do you guys have any experience that you want to answer?
Okay. Sure. For the university, for Pärnu College, you are free to participate in volleyball activities for 2 semesters, and you get 1 ECTS for every semester. So any time when you have to go for either Erasmus or internship, you have to take 5 compulsory ECTS. So if you play the volleyball, you get 2 ECTS, so you just have to take 3. So it's easy, and it's also another form for you to have exercise. So why don't you just exercise and also get ECTS? Yeah.
Bing, there is a question for you. What can we do to prepare ourselves ahead of time to easily flow with the courses in ITM?
Yeah, it depends on what background you are. So if you are not from a technology background, and if you do not learn about anything about programming, I recommended you to learn about Pythons and the R language and the SQL. That's the hard one I learned. And also, if you are not a really economic person either, so I recommended you to learn more about econometric. There's a book. It's boring, but it's also interesting. So you have to grow on it. So yeah, if you have time to go through these topics, you shouldn't be you should be fine. Yeah.
Thank you. And then there is a question about the need-based study allowance. Do you guys have any answer for that? And they ask, can I apply to it only after the beginning of the studies?
I'm not sure about that, but I do heard for the need-based allowance, it might infect to your TRP. So you need to check that, because when you apply the school, you already kind of like guaranteed that you are capable to pay for the tuition fee. So for the need-based, which you are just saying what you promised you have the money to pay tuition is not working anymore. So you have to double check that, because there's a talk about this, about it might infect your TRP. So just be aware of that.
Just to add about the need-based study allowance, like there is this, if you go through the UT website, there is this part about the like there are like stipends or need-based study allowance. Like you just need to go through them and check them out. I know that they are having specific time that you can apply for them, but we are not sure about it. So you better check it with the university. Just email them, and I'm sure you're gonna have answer like very quickly. The next question is, there are many questions about the dormitories. I think I am right now the only person who lives in a dormitory in Tartu. So about like when can I move into the dormitories, it's just like I think it's just based on like your contract. Like technically for me was like I arrived here by the end of August, and then my contract was from that time, so I was able to come to the dormitory. And then what should I take with me if I'm gonna live in the dorm? The answer is like whatever you think it is necessary for you. So the dormitories is having like a shelves and like a desk and like your bed and a closet, and of course the common area has got like everything, like a fridge, stove, for us has like oven and microwave, you know, like a lot of stuff that probably people were using them before. So technically when I wanted to come here, they were speaking about the bed sheet and stuff, but obviously you just you can buy them here, and you don't need to carry them like a pillow or something. You can buy them here, and like you don't need to be worried about what you want to bring here. So don't worry about that one. Do we need to apply for stipends and scholarship listed in the university website separately? Do you guys have any answer about that? Probably.
Can you repeat it again?
About do we need to apply for stipends and a scholarship listed in a university website separately?
No. So it's for like if you mean like the Dora Plus, no.
I think the thing is we might not have Dora Plus from the next semester, but the thing is scholarship is not, these things are not related to the ambassadors. So if you're writing them here, we usually know mostly about the student lives and general things about Tartu. But there are other stuff like scholarship, I think it's related to the admissions or your faculty. And then there is a question about, oh my gosh, it's just, the question keep going. Do you guys have any information about living in Tallinn? Tommy, you're the expert in Tallinn.
I don't know about accommodations in Tallinn. I don't know if there's university housing, but kv.ee is a great private accommodation source. You could find a lot of cheap rooms and apartments. If you're going to live in Tallinn, that would be my best guess. And there's a lot of room in Tallinn. It's a big city, so you'll definitely find somewhere cheap to live.
Then also for my friend who studies in there's a campus in Tallinn. So the hostels, there are free hostels you can also rent from. They give the hostels to University of Tartu students also. So you just write to them, and if there is space to give, it's easy to get an accommodation in Tallinn.
Nice. And then the question is where you can live in Tartu if you're a student. In a dorm, shared room, single room, etc. Can I get about the dormitories. About the dormitories, I think my friend's gonna write like a website for you that you need to apply through that website. And then also there is for those of you who wanted to know more about the life in dormitories, there is a video that you guys can watch it about the dormitory in Tartu. Generally, we are having for international students for the first year international, like those of you who wants to come here, there are 4 dormitories available for you. So it's Narva 25, Narva 27, Ratuse 22, and Pepleri 14, if I'm not mistaken. I am living in Ratuse, which is the main, they call it like a main hub or something. It's technically the bigger one, and it's different from technically the dormitories are different. In Narvas, there are like 2 rooms that they are sharing, like a kitchen and bathroom, but it's different in Ratuse. You can find them all this information on the website, and there are like pictures for you, and there are the prices there, so you don't need to be worried about them at all. And then somebody is asking about the link for the healthcare that you mentioned.
You can just tap with here. I'll just tap it in the chat, and then just Google it. It's coming out.
There are a lot of questions about the possibilities of working as a student. Do you guys have any answer to that? Maybe Tommy or Bing or?
I can answer some of this. So it really depends what your background are, because like it's much easier for people who are in a tech background, of course, and but also like there's some small jobs you can work. And I have a friend who are working in the restaurant, for example, McDonald's, and you can, or as a delivery person, if you want a little bit extra money to support your life, you can do that too. And it's really depends on the person, I'll say. And you can try to also, like in Estonia, I think it's really good, like you can pitch to the company about yourself. You just go there to say, this is what I can do, and if I can do the internship, or if I can work for you guys and as a part-time job. So I think this is also another thing I like about Estonia, because it's not that big, so everyone knows everyone. So if you go there and just to talk, and you probably get the opportunity. So it depends how much you're aggressive, how aggressive you are, I think. Yeah.
Then also continuously, you would get mails from the school telling you about openings from different companies. So they write directly to University of Tartu, demanding that they need students in specific areas. So if you like if you have the background or you have the experience working there before, then you can apply then. If you get a job, yes, you can work.
Thank you. And for Bing, somebody asked you, can you describe more on the innovation and technology management curriculum, job prospects, and etc.?
Well, like for the curriculum, like I think you can find it on our website, and I can tell you more. But like as I mentioned, like for me, like the really hardest one is the one called the business data analysis and econometric. This is the hardest class I took in the university, I think. But like maybe for some other people, it's not that hard at all. And the other thing is like for the work, and I think we all agree, like for the study working load, it's very heavy in Tartu University. You have to be aware of that. Like we have a lot of, for a lot of my classes, I have to do project, and it's a lot of group work. So if you are from, like if you have group work, I would really wish everyone here good luck to find a good group mate and to be a good group mate as well, because it's really stressful because everyone has a lot of work and everyone should do their part at this their program. And for the job perspective, I would say like a lot of people after this study, they they got a job as like a business analysis. You can start from senior, and you can start. My highly recommended is starting to get your internship as early as possible, so you can get your hands on. Because I know some people get like a job in Swedbank, and then because like they did like a related internship. And I think the good things about this program is like there's a lot of opportunities for internship as well. Like for example, like the Swedbank, SEB, all these banks, they actually offer those type of opportunity to related to our program. So that's something people can look into. And then in the end, if you are really good at tech and maybe a product manager, but this is some higher level, I would say no one will hire a junior product manager. It's always like in the future. Yeah.
Thank you. And a question for Tammy. What is the student life like in Tartu?
Student life. I know this way too well. So it depends on what your interests are. Tartu is a student city. There's a lot of bars, there's a lot of dancing, a lot of activities. There's always something going on where people can mix and mingle. If you're afraid of coming to a foreign city and being alone and not meeting anyone, that's not the case in Tartu. Everybody knows everybody. So there's a few different bars that host events nights. There's an ESN group that does a lot of fun things here, but there is a very lively and intense student life here in Tartu.
Thank you. And there's a question all of us know, but I would be very thankful if you guys answer it. Like, can we learn Estonian language in university, or there will be a specific place for it? Bing, do you want to go first? And then if Cristobal know about Parnu.
Yeah, I mean, there's a classes that you can register, and I'll say like it's a shame to say this, but like at the beginning I thought like I took this for the first semester. I thought it's just so easy classes. You just go in there, chill, learn a couple words and sentence. It's actually a little bit intense. There's 3 exams in one semester, so you really have to put the effort in there and try to study hard. Yeah.
Well, in Parnu, there are 2 courses I think you can take. One is the one with the college, Estonian language and culture. I really did not take the course. Then there's another one that just, it's an international hub in Parnu. So they teach you how to speak Estonian, but I learned just, do you speak English? So it's been helping me a lot and I didn't bother to learn.
Thank you. And there's a question for me. So they said, I'm also from Iran, have had any issues living in Estonia as an Iranian citizen? No. Regarding the sanctions, we are under about the banking system, and because we are under the sanctions. So technically when you come to Estonia, yeah, you might have a problem because you need to carry cash to come to Estonia because our banking system is not obviously connected with the world's banking system, but as soon as you're here, you need to apply for the personal ID, and then which it is going to be with the same letter that I told you. You're gonna get it from the dean's office, And then you're gonna apply for the personal ID. With the personal ID, you're gonna apply for El Have, because El Have is right now, like for me, was like that. We are hoping that like next year the situation will be the same. So for El Have, you're gonna apply with the personal ID, and of course, the process of that bank gonna be a little bit longer for you as an Iranian, but in general, they're gonna give it to you anyway. And then you need to apply at the same time after you got your personal ID, apply for a TRP, the temporary resident permit. And with that one, you can actually like apply for a Swedbank. This was pretty easy, and there were no problem from the beginning. Like, let's say a few weeks at the beginning, it was a difficult problem related to the money and etc. But then everything was just like others, so no problem at all. So a question that it is like, what does a typical day look like for you in Tartu? Bing, do you want to answer that?
Like right now, like a lot of my classes was online. Like we're back to normal life already, but like still a lot of my classes is online. So I mostly like study online and then take my own lunch and try to finish my homework. And on weekend, I go out sometimes. But yeah, right now it's pretty much it's just my personal. I'm not that active, so maybe you guys can answer more. I feel like you are more active than me. Like yeah, for me it's pretty boring. Just stay home.
I could give a brief on what my day-to-day looks like. I usually wake up around 8 or 9. The sun starts coming up at 4:30 in the morning now in Tartu, so I've been waking up earlier, but I usually make breakfast. I go and have a coffee. I have my classes usually in the afternoon, so from 12 to 4, 12 to 5, and then I just study for the whole day, and then maybe I hang out with friends in the evening.
Perfect. I'm looking at the Q&A box. Still, we are having a lot of questions related to dormitories. We answered them, but again, if you are having a question about them, about applying, and like you can also find information at campus.ee. That there are a lot of information regarding that one, prices, pictures for you, and like it's gonna explain for you about the sharing areas in each dormitory. So you guys, if you missed the part that we were explaining, you guys can still go through that things. Do you guys know what companies can we use to transfer money to Tartu, like Tartu banks from other countries? I have no idea about that. Do you guys have any idea about it?
Wise Bank does that. So you can receive from various banks outside Estonia directly to your bank. And sometimes Revolut. So it's quite easy. You just send your IBAN number to the person and sends directly from whatever country you're in down to your account.
Cristobal, you actually have a question here. What has been your experience adjusting to the cold in winter?
I wasn't so scared about the cold in winter. All I needed to do was, someone in Estonia, someone in Tartu gave me a brand new winter jacket as a gift and a winter boots. So they just told me, and we're just about 5 from Africa in Tartu, so you're easy to be spotted anywhere you are. And this lady just gave me the winter jacket, and so it was quite easy. It's not the winter that's the problem, it's after when it starts to rain. So you have to understand that some ice could be slippery and the others are not. So it's going to take you time to understand when not to fall, because you're definitely going to fall. But besides that, it wasn't really a big deal for me. Just cover yourself up and take tea.
Thank you. generally speaking about the cold, you just don't need to be worried about that because you're gonna get used to the situation. Like we all experienced -24, I think, last winter. I mean, the winter that was gone. So don't worry about it, and it's just okay. They have something saying that there is no such a thing as bad weather, but it's the wrong choice of choosing codes or something. But it is technically all about that one. And there is a question about how is the COVID situation there? Do we need to self-isolate once coming to Tartu? Tommy, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so as far as I know, COVID rates are really low in Estonia. So one, it's a really small population. There's only 1.3 million people in all of Estonia. And currently there's no mask mandate. You don't need to show your vaccination records anywhere. I haven't heard of anyone around me getting COVID for a while. We had a little bit of a bump in January or February, but it's relatively safe. I don't think there's any major concerns now.
Thank you. And a question for you again, Tommy. Somebody asked, how about the light? Is it difficult to adjust to really long and really short days?
Yes. So during the winter, it gets very dark. The sun rises at 10 a.m. and it leaves at 2 p.m. So that was different for me. And now with the sun coming up at 3 or 4 a.m., it's very bizarre for me. I can definitely feel that my sleep is weird here and there, but I think it's easy to adjust to Estonia. It has good effects on the body. I think Estonia is pretty good biologically.
Okay, I'm still seeing a lot of questions related to dormitories. Just guys, every information about the dormitory is written in the website. You are asking about the animals. Technically, you're not allowed to have any of them in the dormitories. Like the situation right now is like this. And about the sharing areas, that, as I told you before, the sharing area is different from a dormitory to another one. You can have, based on the price you pay, you can have, I think the cheapest thing started from, like the cheapest space that you can have in a dormitory started from the next year from 137.8 euros per month, which also include utilities. So it's the cheapest one, which it is you need to share your room with somebody else. But if you want to have the whole room in a dormitory, you can you have to pay double. And then there are also areas in other dormitories like Pepleri that in them you generally can have the whole room with also like a bathroom and kitchen in your own area, but still the prices are higher. Technically in Ratuse, we are having 3 rooms and then a common area, which is a huge kitchen and bathroom and toilet separately. But in Narvas, there are 2 rooms with the smaller kitchen and toilet and bathroom are together. But still, all of this information can be found on the campus, Tartu Student Village, and like you're gonna find them out. So a question for all of you. What are some of the culture shocks you experience in Tartu? Maybe with Bing first.
Sorry, also in the question in Q&A section. Can you repeat the question again?
What were the culture shocks for you?
Culture shocks. I guess there's one thing is like how quiet it is for me, because if you go out on Sundays, literally barely you can see anyone on the street. Yeah, and people really like sauna, even it's growing ourselves too. And yeah, I think that's culture shock for me. And another thing is like, because I'm Chinese and I really like Chinese food, and Sadly, there's not much good Chinese food here. So yeah, that's a part of it.
What about you, Cristobal? What was the culture shocks for you?
Okay, in Nigeria, you wake up in the morning and you see your neighbor and you say, hi, good morning. And the neighbor like, oh, good morning, how did you sleep? But in Estonia, in Tartu, in my house, I felt I was the only person in the whole building. I didn't get to see anybody on the streets, but after a while, I got used to it. And just was really scared the first time because no one to talk to, but with time you would adjust. So then besides that, I don't think there was anything. It was just normal, just besides the fact that it's quiet. So yeah, it's same.
And Tommy, what was the culture shock for you?
Estonians are very quiet. They don't talk a lot. They are super quiet, super straight to the point. I think me growing up in the Midwest, where if you know kind of the stereotypical Americans that do small talk, I had to train myself not to do small talk and just get to the point. That was my biggest culture shock. And eating ice cream in the winter, that was a big culture shock for me. They just eat ice cream whenever, which is bizarre for me, but I've gotten into it. It's fun.
But speaking about culture shock, for me was very interesting that and shocking at the same time that like children, like very small children are walking alone in the street and like they take the bus on their own and like because generally Tartu is pretty safe and like you can see like children are just doing their stuff without like parents or which is like something which was like shocking for me that they are walking around the streets. There was a question here about, again, dormitories. Is it girls only with girls or girls with boys? It's usually separated, and but I know some of the flats that they decided that they want to be like mixed or something. So it's technically it's not a question that we can answer based on our own, like based on the thing that we know. There is a question about Cristobal's program. Are all wellness and spa classes physical in class, or there are some online classes as well?
Yes, so some are online and some are physical. Then we get to go for field trips and yes, so online, in person, field trips, and that's it.
Thank you. We unfortunately we do not have anyone from computer science, but you're gonna find one of I mean through our ambassadors, one of our friends is actually studying computer science and he's from India. So you can, if you have any concern, you can just email him, or you're gonna see our profile on isa.ut.ee, and in that one you're gonna see which each of us with our profiles and like the thing that we are studying. So you can just like separately email us after that. Yes, and his stages. So I'm just trying to find other questions that they're not dorm related. So any tips for someone from a tropical country, no seasons, and is about to experience their first winter? Cristobal, do you want to answer this?
Just brace yourself. Get ready. It's not as bad as it seems. And if you're going to be in Parnu, walk on the Baltic Sea, and don't forget to build a snowman. It's not so bad. You get your affordable clothes to buy in either Parnu or in Tartu for winter jackets and winter clothes. So Just take tea. Always take chai. You'll be fine.
All right, there is a question for Bing. How about the food in Estonia? Good or not for, oh my gosh, not for Chinese people. Can we buy some Asian food on groceries?
Yes, like I mean, like the food in general is fine, but like from a Chinese standard, I don't know what, because some of my friends there have a lower standard, some of them have a higher standard, because some people only like to eat Chinese food. But well, if you only like eat the Chinese food, you can buy like a Chinese ingredient online. Then they're shipping from other side of the, like there's some in Estonia as well, but there's more options on this website called 大酱油, which is located in German, and it's take 7 days to shipping. So if you like to buy some ingredients, like more exotic stuff, so you can buy it from there. And yeah, besides that, it's fine. If you like Western food, I think it's fun. It's in general, it's totally fun, but it really depends on your personal taste. Yeah.
Thank you. There are a few questions that I see, and they're related to visas and admission. For visas, you can contact student visa support at ut.ee. Unfortunately, we as an ambassador, we are not able to answer these questions because it's like visa situation from a country is different from another one. So we cannot give an answer to that one. But yeah, you can contact them, the email that I told you. Again, student visa support at ut.ee. There are also questions about part-time jobs, but my friend Bing has answered a little bit of that. So it's just different from the situation to another one. And there is a part related to answered part that my friends are also typing some of the answers that you might need, so you can have a look to that one as well. Like, let me see. How good is the internet on the dorms? It's pretty good. As you can see, I'm just like in the dormitory and I'm using the internet. But Tommy, do you want to say about the internet generally in Estonia? And like,
Yeah, I could touch on that. So there is one big Wi-Fi network that covers all the university buildings in Tartu. So it's the same thing that you connect with your username and password you get from the school, and you get internet at the library, your classrooms, main buildings. So you get internet there. But in addition, Estonia is super connected with Wi-Fi. You can find it at every restaurant, cafe, some public parks even have Wi-Fi. So you'll find Wi-Fi anywhere and everywhere.
thank you. And there is a question about, like, there are so many questions still coming up related to dormitories. I fully understand that you must be worried about the situation related to dormitories. I was too, but don't be very afraid of the situation. As I told you before, I'm living in Ratuse 22, and generally they're saying that this is the party dorm. It's just like they're carrying this name, but in general, Ratuse is very calm, as you can like see. Just like most of the time, it's like this very calm, but it just depends on I feel like it can be depends on a floor, because if I'm not mistaken, the second floor is mostly for the Erasmus student, so that must be a bit different. But generally my experience in Ratuse, it was okay, and it's kind of like good equipped as well. So somebody asked Cristobal about the Nigerian food. Was it difficult for you to find it, an ingredient or something?
There are African stores in Tallinn, but there are also clear substitutes you can use for the African food, so it's not going to be difficult. to get them. If you're really big on African food, yes, then you can just go to the African stores. There are about 3 or 4 in Tallinn. Then if you're going to be living in Pärnu, you can also go to Tallinn. But otherwise, there are other very close substitutes you can, it's just like home. So you don't get to worry about that.
Thank you. And then for being any exchange program in the 3rd semester for ITM students?
Well, so like if you go onto our website for the exchanging as a UT students, if I remember the name right, but like it's on the website, and then you can check, like for us, we're under the faculty of economics and business and economics, so you can find all this information there. And there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of school I cannot list it to you right now, and just check the list, and then you can say which school you can go. But there's a lot, because I know a lot of people are leaving to exchange.
Thank you. But in general, Tommy, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Erasmus? Just general things.
Yeah, so with some programs, bachelor's and master's, you could do a semester abroad, and there's specific agreements that your specific program or institute has made with other programs or institute. For example, I'll be going to France in August or September, and you decide what classes you want to take, you go there, you live your life in that location that you've chosen, and that happens. There's also trainingships, and then there's these short-term Erasmus trainings where you can go away somewhere for a week, learn about a specific topic, they pay for the accommodations and the plane ticket, and then you come back and continue your life as is in Tartu. But you have many options to go see the world in and out of Europe if you come to the University of Tartu.
Thanks. And the program is different from other program, but you're going to have a lot of opportunities as well. Somebody asked that they know that we are not medicine student, but do we know anyone that we know about their struggles and schedules? Do you guys know anyone from medicine? I don't think.
I have a friend from medicine.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
So, but they're Estonians. Can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
I think I have a break. Yeah. So I think for medical students, life is pretty struggle, because there's a lot of classes and you take a very long time, and you also has this training as a you need to kind of working on the set as well, like, because this is go to, like, because my friend, she is also, I don't know what you call it, practice things, and then so I think for them it's pretty struggling. They're pretty busy and difficult. The classes is difficult, but that's just for medical students. You just you can do it. You will do it. Yeah.
Just to let you guys know again, this is an event called Q&A with the International Student Ambassadors. We are representing our program here. We are from different countries, and we are working with the marketing departments, and like this is the event related to the International Student Ambassadors. And we have answered a lot of your questions, but still the questions are coming up. I'm just trying to have a look at them and just find the questions that they are not related to the dormitories, because we answered them quite a lot. But do you guys have any recommendation about the housing out of dormitories? Maybe Tommy or Bing?
Yeah, I could talk about my experience. So I don't live in the dorms. I live in a private apartment. I share it with 5 other people. It sounds cramped, but it's not. The apartments are fairly big in Estonia. I pay 250 euros a month with utilities, and I got that off of kb.ee. I've had a lot of friends that went off of kb.ee, or they went through Facebook groups and they had a really good experience with it. So If you don't want to live in the dorms, or for some reason you didn't apply by June 20th and didn't get a spot in the dorms, you have many options to find housing in Tartu.
So you also can check. So there's some studios, so like you can just search them online. One is called Hectors, and it's also a hostel as well. Another one is the Hugu Stay. It's a very popular one too. Those are like small studios. Like Hugu Stay is right next to the dorm. It's you have your private space, and the price is different. The room is small though, but like if you really want your private space, you can go check that too. And I can type that in the chat as well. And you can go there. And yeah, as Tommy said, like TV.E is really good. Just use the yeah.
Thanks, Bing. So there must be a question about the amount of money that you guys are spending each month. Tommy has got a very good blog about, like a post blog about it, let's say. I mean, you can add it to the chat, but in general, do you guys just want to speak about it a little bit, about the amount of money that you guys are spending, which one's like average? Tommy?
You mean in dormitory, right? I mean for living. Or...
Yeah.
Well, dormitory definitely cheaper because like I realized like utility fee actually is pretty high if you're not living in dormitory. So for me, like I pay plus utility, I pay almost 500 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go into my living expenses if you want. So I pay $250 a month for my rent and utilities combined. My phone bill, I pay a little extra. I pay around 20 euros a month because I like having unlimited everything, but you can get a phone plan that's like 5 euros and do just fine. Most of my expenses go towards food and going out. I'm kind of frivolous with that. The irony is my blog is called Penny Pinchers, and I am not a penny pincher. I'd say the more that you go out and the more that you eat out, the more your expenses are going to be. But if you live within your means, food is pretty cheap here if you cook by yourself. I have friends that spend 400 a month, and that's their budget with everything. I have friends that spend 1,000 a month. It depends on how strict you are.
So for Parno, I lived in a hotel, yes, and I had with utilities, and my bills was about 300 euros a month. And since I was studying wellness and spa, subconsciously, I switched to becoming a vegetarian. So I started to leave. It's not so expensive to be a vegetarian for me, because if I have to go with the regular African food, I have to buy a lot of things to stock my food. So it just depends on what you want to eat, how you want to live your life, and it's not so difficult. So you just have to. And then also for the internet, it was free in my accommodation. So I just had to pay for just regular phone calls. And if you come to University of Tartu College, first arrival, you'll be given a SIM, and the SIM has call credits that you will never get to use, because you can also text everybody on WhatsApp or through the emails. So.
And from my side, I'm living in the dormitory, which means that I pay less. But it's generally very different 1 month. Like I cannot find out like how much I'm spending each month. But I had a lot of things. I brought a lot of things from Iran, like ingredient, and I cook most of the time. So my budget's way lower than like the thing that I expect sometimes. But let's say mine can get to 350 to 400. But as I said, it's just very different from a person to another. I mean, I can make it more and I can make it less. There are questions about founding and scholarship, but it's just very like, it is not something that we can answer them. Just in general, if you're having any questions toward your program, just email your program manager, and like there is like in website where there is your program, you're gonna find their information. And I'm sure if you got admission, they definitely message you, email you before to gain some information about these things. Just you need to study if you want to have like stipends, like achievement stipends. These are the things that's gonna come up on a student letter that they're gonna tell you like when you can apply for them. And then, as I told you before, through you can apply for those things in OIS as well. But most of the time, just speak with your program manager, and program director, and they're gonna answer you, obviously, like as soon as they can. And like there are specific program that you guys mentioned. I mean, if there is no ambassador from them, again, you can directly email to the people in your faculty, and I'm sure they're gonna answer them pretty quickly. With this being said, I feel like we have answered the majority of questions here. If you guys have any last words that you wanna add, please, the floor is yours. Bing, if you have any last thing that you want to mention.
Okay, so I just had I know you already mentioned about people asking some questions about the faculty. I just saw someone asking something related to administration things about to receiving the final papers from the school. I just want to remind you guys, like right now it's in the process of this admission. So if you didn't, if you got like a university's email, they receive your documents, but you still didn't hear much about them afterwards, and so no matter what, if you be rejected, you will get a letter. If you be accepted, you will get a letter. So do not rush them, because there's a lot of people applying. So just be a little bit patient, and then you will definitely get an answer in the end. And we cannot give you a specific time at all, because this is not a process we can help and we can do anything for you. So just be patient. And in the end, I'm really glad to talk to you guys here, and I saw there's Chinese names around here. Like, I just want to tell you guys that you can also apply to ISA to replace my space because I'm the only Asian in the group now. So like I think I really want to encourage the Chinese students to apply, because it's really fun, because most of the Chinese students I know here, they're not really active at all. And another thing is like I think our organization is really good, and since you guys are already here to listen us to talk, and you can apply to join us for next semester. So I'll see you guys there.
And I'll say something. Oh, sorry, Raina.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I'll say something really quick. Thank you, Raina, for being our host, and thank you, Bing and Christabel, for sharing your experiences. I feel like they've been pretty synonymous with mine, so it's reassuring for me. For everyone listening, I know it's super scary, all of it, housing, visas, figuring out how to live here, living costs, but I can assure you everything in this country and in this university has been formatted in a way for you to succeed and for you to not be left in the wind. So please don't be anxious, trust the process, everything will get done. I was super anxious with the whole thing, but it turned out great. I've loved my life here. So stay calm, get ready. You're gonna have a huge adventure. It's so much fun here. You're gonna learn a lot and you're gonna experience a lot. And we can't wait to see you in the fall.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. Like, you know, like Tartu is a really small town. You probably will bump into us on the street also. So don't feel free to come to say hi. Yeah.
And Cristobal, do you have the last word of wisdom you want to share with us?
Well, I love to talk, so I'll be very excited if I get to meet people, if I'm in Tartu, because we are leaving up now for internship and Erasmus. But yes, I'm coming to Estonia for those from Africa might seem like it's really cold and how to switch the food, making of hairs and everything. If you're going to be in Parano, I think maybe after the first semester, you can have a conversation with me and you tell me how the switch goes, because you're not only going to be learning, you're going to be practicing what you're learning. So subconsciously, you're going to be sustainable and leave all your former practices and now live in a wellness field. So it's easy, just come and have fun. I always say have fun because we're learning and having fun for me.
Thank you, guys. So from my side, I saw a lot of also Iranian names here. I'm so happy about that you guys decided to come to Estonia. It was such an unknown country for Iranians. So seeing more of you here is just amazing. And I saw people are chatting here about folkloristics. It's a great program. If there is like, I came here for this program and I have zero regret about it. I'm so happy that you guys gonna come here. Cannot wait to see you guys next semester in Tartu. That was it. It was just, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have any questions regarding anything related to Tartu, as I told you before, you can find our profile on isa.ut.ee that you can just drop us an email or if you have any concern, if you're concerned about anything, just send us an email and we will definitely answer you. That was it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a beautiful day and see you in Tartu. Goodbye.